Welcome to the DAITABLE presentation. Maybe you've already been able to see us in the next room. We have our booth there. So in case you like the presentation, you like the topic, you like to talk about data, AI, and sustainable, which is DAITABLE, then we'll definitely have more time to talk after this presentation. But since we still have some minutes here, let me introduce myself a little bit first. My name is Šimon, or I like to introduce myself as Simon when I speak English, and I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of DAITABLE. And maybe a reason to talk to me later on is that I'm actually not an IT guy. I've never coded a single code, and I own an IT company, but I consider myself as the person who actually understands this environment, who can actually talk to the people who do the really hard and useful work with the code and create the amazing software we do. And then on the other hand, understands the business needs, the real world, and can speak normal human language. Because, yeah, usually the translation between IT and the real world and actually making some sort of added value, that's the real tricky part here. So that was a short intro about me. And now actually what do we do? I have a question here now. Is there anyone in this room who hasn't heard the word energy crisis yet? Yeah, probably you've heard it many, many times now. But have you also heard about ESG, let's say? Or energy communities, spot prices, reserved capacities, renewable resources, electric vehicles, and many, many, many other things. The problem here is that it's so much stuff now going on in the energy market that it has gotten so complex in the last few years that it's almost unbearable for an average user, for an average business, even for the energy manager to really understand what's going on and to manage the energies. One thing everyone understood though is that nobody's going to save us, and we need to start saving ourselves regarding the energies because the price has just boosted up. Nobody knows what to do with it. We just know we need to save. But even like the best of us, the real energy managers who have been here for years have no idea where to save, how to save, and how much to save. And the problem here is that they are lacking the right data. If we walk around an average Slovak company, or even an average company in Europe, and we've seen this even in Western Europe, the infrastructure of energy management hasn't been innovated for decades. In 70% of the companies, it really looks like this. They have these old analog meters, and I mean, not everyone. I see you like don't agree with that, but I would say like 1/3 of the companies in Slovakia already have the digital meters. But trust me, 2/3 of the companies still use this. And even if they decide to do some sort of analysis, what they do is that they go around the company, they transcript these values from the meters on the paper, then they put it into Excel spreadsheets, and then they have no idea what to do with it again. So that's their energy management, that's their optimization. In the better case scenario, the company has some money for an audit, so they call someone from the Big Four, they charge them pretty good money, and basically what they do is just they take data from the invoices, which is one single number per month per company, and they try to do some sort of outcome from that. But honestly, it's time consuming, also costly, not that accurate, and oftentimes it's just too late. You know, the damage is already done. So now imagine that you are the managers, and instead of that, you see a real-time energy consumption for each of your machines, really updated within seconds, and you can even see the future. You can see potential scenarios, you can see threats that haven't appeared yet but may appear in the future. You get warned before something bad happens, like exceeding of capacity or even machine breakdowns. Managers can thus prevent these negative scenarios and optimize their energy consumption. So how do we actually do it? We combine a simple smart metering tool, which has been here already on the market, and you probably know it. So smart meters showing the real-time values on some fancy screen with charts and tables and so on. That's basic. That's the data meter part. But then we also added modules with artificial intelligence that take these data, learn, gather them, and make predictions, make analytics, correlations, and actually help the energy manager to work with the numbers. Because now, even if they are digitalized and they have the meterings, they still have to sit there, they need to do the hard work, they need to do all the calculations, and let's be honest, all these energy managers, they're like, it's less and less of these people there in the market. Like in 10 or 15 years, there's not going to be anyone who actually understands it. And especially within the routine tasks, AI can definitely do it. It's routine calculations that can be done by simple algorithms. And what's even better, what AI can do, and we, the people, cannot, is to do these calculations and analytics in real time and get updated every couple of seconds when we get new data, create new predictions, new scenarios, new alarms, new analytics. And this is something that human mind isn't capable of, and this is where AI actually helps, and this is where we see the added value. And with this kind of tool, what the manager can do is that he actually finds where he has an overconsumption, whether some machine consumes more than it should. He eliminates the downtime because of the predictive maintenance, because once I know that there is something wrong with the machine but it still runs, I can either save it or at least get prepared, because the worst thing that can happen is to have a downtime and not knowing about it in advance. So then it's more costly and it also takes more time to repair. Where we also help a lot is like the short-term prediction, whereas within the 15-minute intervals, it happens really often that the companies cross their limits of consumption. We know this 7 or 8 minutes ahead when it happens, when it should happen. So they can still avoid it, they can take measures, and they can save tons of money on the fines. And yeah, last but not the least, you wouldn't believe how many human errors there are happening in the companies. You know, people aren't switching off the machines, they're in the standby mode, they're turned on the whole night even though nobody is there. And if we don't have the data, if we don't get warned, like these small building blocks, 1% by 1% can equal to 15 or sometimes up to 30% of their total energy consumption bill, which can be saved just on optimizing. So somehow to sum it up, why AI and smart metering is useful. First of all, it's the planning, because now what we do is we do forecasting manually and we take data from the past, we forecast, and then we buy energy on the spot market, because as we know, after the energy crisis, all the long-term contracts are super expensive. Most of the companies now are buying energies on the spot. With this tool, the forecast can be much more accurate and you can save a lot of money on that. Second thing is the alarms, meaning alarming the extended capacity and also predictive maintenance. And yeah, that's actually the last point as well. It's not only about energies, it's not only about really saving on the consumption, but also on the breakage that may happen but doesn't need to. So to sum it up, our aim is to really teach the managers in Slovakia that managing their companies by gut is nice, and they have been probably doing it so far. But if we want to still keep being competitive also abroad and not being only the assembly line of Europe, but actually to add some added value in our products, we need to innovate. We cannot really look at every investigation only as like if the ROI is within 6 months or 1 year, but we really need to innovate. We really need to do more data-driven decision-making and optimize our costs, optimize our production step by step. And this is our mission to do it, and I think we're on a good way if we all understand the importance of data and how can we use artificial intelligence to leverage this data. We have 12 seconds. I don't know if there's time for some fast question. If not now, you can still find us in the booth. We'll be there and happy to answer questions. Thank you.